should have sensed something was off the instant I walked into Ryan's house that Friday evening. His parties were normally loud, messy, but comforting. Friends lounged across the couches. Music hummed softly in the background, laughter ricocheting off the walls. But that night, the atmosphere carried a strange, uneasy quiet. I dismissed it at first, telling myself it was just my imagination. I wanted everything to be normal. I always wanted to believe the best. I spotted Emily near the kitchen, leaning casually against the counter, that half smile she saved just for me playing on her lips. "Hey," I said, dropping my coat. For a brief second, everything seemed all right, as if the rest of the party didn't exist and it was only the two of us in the room. Then I noticed her phone vibrating endlessly in her hand. She glanced at it, her smile flickering for a heartbeat before she slipped it into her pocket. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just work," she said, a little too fast. I nodded, though a small knot formed in my chest. She had been unusually distracted all week. Missed calls, vague excuses about being late, vanishing for hours without explanation. I tried to rationalize it, stress, deadlines, but the unease wouldn't leave me. Something wasn't right. Later, Ryan's house felt hollow, the kind of quiet that comes when guests drift off into separate rooms alone. Wandering down the hallway, I noticed a slightly ajar door I didn't recognize. I assumed it was the guest bedroom. Curiosity, dumb as it was, pushed me forward. I opened the door and froze. Emily was there, head thrown back in laughter, tangled up with another man on Ryan's couch. My chest tightened, my heart hammering. For a moment, I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only stand frozen as the world I thought I knew disintegrated in front of me. "Caleb, what?" she started, but faltered when she saw my face. I shut the door slowly, stepping back as if walking on molten glass, my mind racing to make sense of it. It had to be a mistake, right? Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. But then my phone buzzed. A text from Ryan. "Don't go in that room. Just leave." I stumbled to the bathroom, locked the door, and ran cold water over my hands, letting it splash in rhythm with the chaos in my mind. I replayed every shared moment with her. Her smile, the whispered, "I love you," the quiet kisses that had felt sacred. Every memory now felt like a carefully woven lie I had clung to willingly. When I confronted her in the hallway, she looked at me with a mix of shame and defensiveness. "Caleb, she began, but I cut her off. How long? How long has this been happening?" Her silence was deafening. She fumbled for explanations, citing stress, loneliness, claiming nothing mattered until she realized it. I wanted to scream, to shake her, demand it was just a mistake, a fleeting lapse. But the truth was written plainly across her face. It wasn't a lapse. It was months of hidden betrayal. I remember leaving that room hollow. The party became a blur, laughter that no longer reached me. My friends' voices sounded distant, like echoes from a life I had lost. Every song on the speakers felt like a cruel reminder of broken promises. Driving home, my mind clung to the first time she said she loved me. The late-night talks, quiet mornings sipping coffee together. Each tender memory now stung, tainted by knowing she had shared intimacy with someone else while promising it was only us. We met the next day at a small cafe neutral ground. She cried, confessed, tried to explain, but her words sounded hollow. I saw the person I loved scattered in pieces across a room I would never enter again. I told her it was over. I don't recall the exact words, just a mix of anger, heartbreak, and exhaustion, but I knew I couldn't stay. Outside, the sun struck my face, warm and indifferent, as if the world hadn't paused for my pain. And then it hit me. The person who had betrayed me was not a stranger. It was someone I had entrusted with my whole heart. The hardest part wasn't just the betrayal. It was knowing I had to walk away, alone. I don't think I'm fully healed yet. Every familiar laugh, every hand reaching for mine in public, echoes that night. The wrong door, the life I thought was mine ending. Slowly, though, I'm reclaiming myself, learning to trust again, starting with me. The hurt remains, but heartbreak doesn't define me. I can remember what I lost and still find strength in who I am. That night marked the end of an engagement, yes, but it also became the beginning of understanding that some doors, once opened, leave scars but also lessons. And I am determined to keep walking, no matter how heavy the steps feel.